everyone, so today I am here to do my first video of #amwriting. Literally everyone on BookTube is also a writer. Like, I know everyone is probably so sick of seeing these videos about BookTube people suddenly being like, I'm writing a book, but I asked on Twitter and everyone was like, yeah, we want to see this, and I was like, fine, whatever. So this first video is just gonna kind of be an introduction to me as a writer, because I really don't talk about my writing on YouTube that much. I don't know, I talk about journaling, I talk about books. Like, I never really thought to talk about my writing, especially because I'm such a private person about my writing. This was actually my first project I told people about. Like, I have three people who have been kind of helping me brainstorm. I've never done that before. I am so secretive because I'm so scared people are gonna take my idea. So I just have never really been like, I should talk about this, because I don't know how to talk about a book that I'm not gonna tell you guys what the actual plot is and stuff. But these videos are really, really popular, especially because there's whole author tube and now we're writing tube or whatever the heck it is. And so this is my kind of introduction as me as a writer. I've talked about quite a few times on this channel, like basically every tag ever asks the question about like when you start reading. And I've always talked about how I have been able to read since before preschool, so I was like 2 or 3 years old. But I actually never really mentioned the fact that at preschool I was also able to write, and I was probably in kindergarten or first grade when I started writing my own stories. There was actually a time when I was like, I think 8 or 9 years old, that I completely stopped reading, and my mom always laughs about this because I was literally like, I don't want to read books anymore because my stories are better than everyone else's. And I would just write. I would write literally everything. I was just so creative and imaginative, and I just always had these ideas like floating around. And I would write for myself, I would write for other people. Like, people would ask me to write stories and I would like write them. Like, it just happened. I would write, like, I wrote a couple of fan fictions, like with my friends and stuff. There's actually a very funny fan fiction out there in the world in a notebook with me and my friend that we passed back and forth in like middle school. I just would write everything. Like, anything that popped in my head, I would write. I actually checked before I started this video my folder of completed short stories. And that's not even all of them, because I don't have all of them from when I was a child. These are probably all of the short stories I've written since 7th or 8th grade, so 5, 6, 7-ish years, and there are 263 in that folder, and those are my completed ones. My not completed ones, there's a lot more of those. And this is actually my 5th novel. Like, again, I feel like there's just this whole other side to me that no one knows about on BookTube. That is my writer side. This is my 5th novel. I have written 4 other novels, and no, don't ask to read them. They are pieces of crap. Like, I'm saying I wrote 4 novels because yes, they are novels. They are full-length novels, but they're not good. I wrote one when I was 12, then 14, 15, and 17. I participated in NaNoWriMo for 7 years straight, all through middle school and high school, and I won 4 times. When I was in 6th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade, and junior year. So those are my 4 novels that I have, and they're horrible. Like, don't ask about them. Like, I'm sure other people would be like, this is amazing, but I think they're crap. I've never done anything with them, but it has been since my junior year of high school that I've written a novel. I haven't written anything that length since. I've written a lot of short stories since then. I don't know, short stories are just a lot easier for me. And when I say short story, I'm probably more so in the novella area of short stories. Like, yes, I do have short stories that are like 2,000 words, but like, that's very rare for me. I'm totally a overwriter. Like, that is one of my biggest flaws, is I overwrite things. So my short stories are between like 10,000 and 30,000 words usually, and they're just like word vomit. Like, I'm so bad at revisions. Like, don't even get me started on revisions. I don't like going back and editing a story that I've already written. I just am not one of those people who enjoys that. So I just have a lot of like word vomit, like 30,000 word short story novellas. That's a lot. Yeah, I have a lot of those. But I realized a little while ago that as a kid, I had this goal to get published before I was 21. And if you guys don't know, I'm turning 21 on September 2nd. I'm not published yet. I do have a published short story essay in a book that is for my college. It's like an anthology of writing, but like I don't count that. I want my novel to be published. And I haven't written a big project in a long time, and I just like really like it hit me that I want to get back into writing. And then I had this idea and it just like got away from me, and now I am planning my 5th novel. But yeah, I must say, before people are like, oh my god, you really wrote a novel when you were like 12 and like 14 years old? Yes, again, because I am such an overwriter. Like, I overwrite things so much. I don't know how to write short things very well. Like, I actually get in trouble a lot in school for overwriting. I actually had a teacher in high school who got so sick of me handing in like 20-page essays, who was like, okay, there's no page maximum except for you, Kate. You get 10 pages. If you write one line over it, you get a letter deduction. So it was actually really bad. It's probably my biggest flaw as a writer, is that I overwrite so much. I just make things way too long, and I've always had that problem, like ever since I was a kid. So yeah, when I was 12, my first novel was just 50,000 words, like barely over it. Like I just hit 50,000 words and then ended it. And then my other ones were over 50,000, but again, I think if I actually give it to an editor, they'd take out like 20,000 words. Like, I'm really bad about overwriting. But yeah, so recently I started outlining my 5th novel. I am not an outliner. I am 100% a pantser. A pantser, right? Is that what it's called, right? Pantsing or outlining? I am a pantser. I have always pantsed things, except for essays. Like in fiction writing, I always just word vomit. That is how I do it, and that is also probably why I overwrite so much, because I just word vomit onto the page, because I'm like, I don't know where this is going, I'm just gonna go with it, like let it write itself, and I would get really, really overdone stuff. But I realized I really am good at outlining. I am an English major in college, and I am really good at outlining essays. Like, I am so good at outlining essays, and it's something that like makes my writing essays so much easier, is when I outline. So I was like, maybe I should actually outline a fiction story. So that is what I've started. I showed this in my recent journaling video, if you guys want to check that out. But I got a writing journal, and yeah, wait. Wow, it's so cute! And it's a sloth, and it says soon-ish, because I'll have a book soon-ish. And in this book, I have just started brainstorming like crazy, like brainstorming, and I actually, okay, I'm not gonna lie, I am not one to really watch a lot of writing videos on YouTube, just because, I don't know, I don't really, like, I have my way of writing, and it works for me. So I don't really necessarily like watching other people's like tips on how to write a novel or something, because I'm like, I know how to write a novel. Like I'm a pro. But I actually did take Kat's advice on how to brainstorm, because again, I've never outlined before, so I've never really had to learn how to do that. So I actually did take her ideas on brainstorming and outlining. And basically, I had this main idea that I have brainstormed, and then I went through and did what, why, who, where, when, how. And I basically just did her idea. I'll link her video somewhere, that it just basically, you take your basic idea and then you just brainstorm like a million different ideas that could come off of it. I did have a basic, like a bigger idea than a basic premise like she was doing in her video, so it was a little bit more difficult, but it was so helpful. I would say I went from like a summary of a story to a solid story in 2 days. Like, I basically have my plot and like outline of that whole thing done. I am currently working on characters, because I obviously need characters. And I'm currently just trying to figure out kind of logistics of things, but that brainstorming was so helpful. It was ridiculous. Like, I had never done that before, and it's making me be like, wow, why did I never outline? Why do I never outline my fiction stories? Because this is so helpful. I really can't tell you guys very much about this story, because again, I'm a very secretive person about my writing. I just don't feel comfortable really talking about what my story idea is, just because I have gone through a couple of experiences where people have taken my ideas and it's just like really, really shit, and I don't want to do that again. Like, I haven't really told people about my stories since I was like in middle school, so I just don't feel comfortable really talking about the plot or anything like that. And I don't really feel comfortable talking about even really the general premise. But I mean, I can probably tell you guys like genre and like stuff like that. It's going to be a standalone. It is 100% a standalone. I don't like series. I don't like reading series, and I don't like writing series. So it is a standalone. The genre is a little bit more complicated. I would say it's not fantasy, but it's fantastical. But also kind of sci-fi. But also kind of contemporary. That was helpful, wasn't it? I would also say if you guys keep up with my book videos, you guys probably know along what lines I am writing this, because I am writing a book that I want to read. Basically, before this book, I did actually start writing a novel about 2 months ago, and it was pantsing it, and I just went for it, and I didn't really have a plot. I just had characters and an idea. I got like 10 pages in and I stopped because I had no clue where to go with it. So I stopped that, and I also realized I was trying to write this like contemporary kind of paranormal story, and I'm like, I don't like those stories. Why am I trying to write a book of a story I wouldn't read? So I basically looked at myself and I realized something about myself, and that is there is a very specific type of story that I love. I'm not going to tell you guys what it is because that gives away what my book is, but if you guys are really like good at figuring things out, this storyline I have adored in every single format that I've taken it in. I've watched animes with this theme, I've watched movies with this theme, and I've read books with this theme. And every single one with this idea in it is like my favorite book. It's my favorite anime, it's my favorite movie. And I was like, I'm going to write my book on this story. And that was my basic kind of idea that I had going into my brainstorm. That Kat's idea really helped me with kind of flesh out. And that's basically, I think, all I can really give you. It is kind of fantasy, fantastical, but it's kind of sci-fi, but it's also kind of contemporary, but it's also kind of just like, yeah, that's all I really got for you guys. It is also an adult novel, I can tell you guys that. It is adult, it is a standalone. And if you guys know what kind of books I like, you'll probably be able to figure out what kind of story this is. But yeah, so far I have only begun my brainstorming, and I plan on doing a lot more of that. So my current plan is to outline as much as possible until NaNoWriMo. It is currently the end of August when I am filming this. I start school September 4th. When school starts, I almost never do anything else besides read and schoolwork. Like, my writing capacity just dies when school starts because I have to write so many essays all the time. So I never write during the school year. But this year, I think I am going to try to do NaNoWriMo, but not do 50,000 words. I think I will try for like 25,000 words for November, and then finish it in January. Finish my first draft in January, because January is my winter break, so I will have more time. So that is my current plan. Outline September and October, start the book November, probably maybe work on it a little bit here and there in December, but that's final, so probably not. And then January do another NaNoWriMo, but by myself. And yes, I will probably vlog those kinds of things. I would probably vlog like NaNoWriMo if I decide to do it, or like January NaNoWriMo. And I will definitely keep you guys updated with that. But yes, I hope you guys all enjoyed this beginning of my amwriting series. I hope you guys aren't so sick of these videos, because literally everyone is a writer nowadays, which is great. But it's also like, I felt like I was just like hopping on the bandwagon, and I was like, oh, this is so awkward. This is gonna be my 5th novel, but I feel like I'm just getting on this writing bandwagon now because no one knows that I was a writer. And I felt kind of awkward, like, just starting this whole thing. I don't know. It probably is not that awkward. But yeah, I'm so excited to be starting this 5th novel. Again, I just haven't written anything this long since my junior year of high school, and I'm a junior in college now. So I really hope I can make my younger Kate self proud and get something published. Not like right now. I can't get it published before I'm 21. I'm so sorry, baby Kate. But I hope this story can actually go somewhere. But anyways, I hope you guys all enjoyed this video, and definitely look out for more writing videos in the future. I'll probably just do them kind of like this, kind of vague, just talking about my feelings and what I'm doing with my book. And I will definitely be vlogging NaNoWriMo however many times I do it. And yeah, I hope you guys all enjoyed this video, and definitely tell me down below if you guys are writers. Like, are you guys secretly writers too? Because I don't know, I feel like there's so many writers on booktube, and just sometimes I don't know, was anyone else, I'm just scared to sometimes like talk about things on booktube because I'm like, I just sound like I'm hopping on this bandwagon. But yeah, I mean, just talk to me down in the comments about writing, my project, anything like that. And I love you all, and I'll see y'all soon. Bye.